Rip and Riff with Jared and Adam. Welcome into another edition of Rip and Riff here
Rip and
on
Riff.
Better Sports Network here for another Saturday afternoon. If you're on the East Coast, West Coast morning, wherever, whatever time of day you're watching this, glad to have you on board. Mr. Moore, how is things going on your end?
It's good, and I'm glad you brought up the morning. Two things. One, my goal now moving forward is to try to make you laugh during the intro because that's obviously very professional. We're professional broadcasters here. And two, while you were explaining that and how the West Coast, it's the episodes come out at 9 a.m. Local time. I'm trying to think like what do they have on the West Coast that because obviously like in New York, coffee and a bagel or coffee, bacon, egg, and cheese, lettuce, tomato, ketchup, salt, pepper, all that good stuff. What's the West Coast version? Is it like a scone or is it like a I don't want to say croissant or are they just big brunch people out there?
I feel like there's brunch out here with the wineries and stuff like that, but not that most of them don't do brunches, but like you do have that. Breakfast people have more breakfast spots than places, but I will say like some of like the Mexican breakfasts, which are way more common, like in my neck of the woods, like in my like the huevos rancheros or the chilaquiles. Oh, that stuff is fantastic. That's a good breakfast. But we don't have bacon, egg, and cheeses. I mean, you do, but it's not.
It's not the same though.
No. So, I've had to settle for Thomas's Bagels just to kind of put that in perspective. No knock on Thomas.
That sounds like a war crime.
I mean, if I'll say this, when I do get back to the Northeast, when I do get back to New York, like if I'm there for a week, I'm having some form of a bagel breakfast, probably 4 or 5 mornings. I don't even care about like calories at that point. Like, no, like I got to take advantage while I'm here.
No, you're on vacation, so calories don't exist when you're on vacation. That's how it works, right?
That's correct. That's how it works. So we got today. I'm going to be the 2-pack guy, and Jared's going to be the 1-pack guy. And I got a starting lineup box break today, but we're going to change it up. Usually we do 4 sports. The 4 major sports. Jared will blindly pick one, but today it's only going to be 2, and I'll explain why later. But why don't you show us what you're going to rip open for us here in just a couple of minutes?
Well, Adam, it's almost football season. We're in the middle of the preseason right now, and I thought this would be a good time to open up another pack of Panini cards. So we got a pack of Panini Mosaic cards, the 2022 edition. 20 cards in this pack in the hanger box. There's it says look out for hanger pack exclusive rookie variation silver. Find 4 hanger pack exclusive Mosaic reactive orange parallels per back on average. So I am excited to see what is in this pack.
Now, I'm excited too. I mean, football season is right around the corner. This episode will be airing on the 26th of August, or will come out on the 26th of August. I'll actually be down in LA when this episode drops for Metallica. So if you happen to be if you went to the Friday night show or you're going to the Sunday night show, hit me up at Puck and Thoughts. I'll be on the floor for both. Be down in LA with my buddies. Looking forward to that. Now, for the cards I'm opening up today, we got a 2001 Major League Baseball Topps Series 1 pack.
Nice.
So we got 10 cards in there. And then I don't know if you remember the action-packed cards back in the day. They had like the gold, like external inlay kind of deals. This is a 1993 7 cards All-Star Gallery, guaranteed Hall of Famer inside. 24-karat gold leaf cards. Every player an all-star, high-profile sculptured card. Excuse me. So,
I mean, I don't remember those, but I am looking forward to seeing it. I mean, it's not the leaf cards, but I have a few of those, like those Cal Ripken 24-karat gold-plated baseball cards in the basement that like my mom bought off of like QVC, like when Cal Ripken broke the record and when he got to 2632 or whatever the number was. So I'm curious to see if it actually looks like that, like who the player is, which Hall of Fame you're getting in the pack. So I'm excited for this.
So for me, we got a month to go left in the baseball season, and for that action packed pack, so you got to do a little baseball. But for the action packed pack, I know I have some football cards of those somewhere that, in the stack of cards I need to go through, which we all do. But yeah, so that'll be a little fun trip down memory lane to open up a pack that looks like that. But it is, football preseason here. We're wrapping things up. It's the last weekend of it. What do you got in our pack here?
All right, let's open up this bad boy. Let's be careful. We don't want to accidentally ding any of the corners here.
Never want to ding a corner with a card, a car, anything like that.
No, 100% not. So we are going to start here with future Hall of Famer and newly retired superstar from the Arizona Cardinals, better known from the Houston Texans, Mr. J.J. Watt.
That's a great way to start a pack right there.
Yeah.
And isn't he going to be a TV analyst, I think, this year or soon or something like that? I thought I saw.
Yeah, he's going to be doing stuff with, I forget which network. I think it might be CBS, but you can look that up while I pull up this Justin Simmons card. One of the, I don't want to say corners or, one of the guys on one of my dynasty teams. I forget which one.
Oh, an IDP guy that you want to take note of there and there. It's a 3-year deal. JJ Watt, CBS, to be a studio analyst, so he's not going to be on the road every week doing games. But that guy seems like he's got a personality that as long as he wants to do that, he'll do that.
All right. Well, we started with one Watt, so let's go to the other one. Let's go to his younger brother TJ with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Where are you on the Steelers going into the season? I mean, just in general, like they have a strong defense. It's a tough division. The Bengals and the Ravens are towards the top for sure, but I think Pittsburgh's going to be a tough out no matter who they're playing every week.
I'm not a Kenny Pickett guy in general. I didn't really see enough late in the season last year where it's like, oh yeah, this guy's going to be a franchise quarterback. Like this guy has it. I don't think there's enough weapons on that offense. I know they got Pickens, and I'm not the biggest Deontay Johnson guy. He's a guy who drops a million passes. Like Pat Freiermuth, good tight end. He's a guy who's had a lot of concussion issues already in the league, which is concerning. Najee Harris had a down year last year. I don't care where we were producing Corey Nando last year, and we kept talking about how you can't put a lot of stock until like he finishes a top 10, top 15 running back or whatever, because he was terrible throughout the year and he wasn't on any teams that were good, because if you drafted him early, he likely put you in a hole because he was so bad.
I think they'll be a little bit better this year. I mean, they're probably still hovering in like the 7-10, 8-9 range, but I think they're going to be a tough team. By the way, TJ Watt, all pro 3 of the last 4 years, but not last year. So we'll see if he gets back to form this year.
Very nice. Well, here's a guy who could be an all-pro from your Buffalo Bills, Mr. Josh Allen.
There you go. This is a strong pack to start. There's no misses so far.
No, this has been pretty good. And, the hits keep coming. We go to the Miami Dolphins. Got Xavier Howard.
What's your pecking order in the AFC East? We got the Bills and the Dolphins there. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers to the Jets. I think we agree New England's probably 4. They're a decent 4, but they're the 4. How do you go 1, 2, 3 with the other ones?
I would go Buffalo 1. I will reluctantly go the Jets 2, even though I'm not buying all of the Jets hype. Part of that is just because obviously they have a good defense. They got a lot of pieces on offense there, and Aaron Rodgers is a massive upgrade over Zach Wilson. I know it's the understatement of the century, but it's factually accurate. But is he enough of an upgrade to take the Jets from whatever they were last year, 7-10, something like that, and bring them to 10-7, 11-6, and actually be a legit playoff team, let alone a Super Bowl contender? I have my doubts. I'd put the Dolphins 3rd. I think the Dolphins are good, but I am concerned about Tua and his ability to stay healthy. And I think the Patriots are a distant 4th. I am not a believer in pretty much anyone they have on offense. They have a really good defense, and they're going to win games because of their defense, but they're not going to win enough games.
I got Buffalo number 1 as well. If Tua misses, I'll say 3 or less games, I'll put the Dolphins number 2 and the Jets 3. But and listen, head injuries sometimes are a freak thing that it could just be the way you land and the way your head hits the turf. I mean, he takes another one of those, it's going to be a problem, even with the amount of time he's had off. So I hope it's Jets 2 and Miami 3. Not that I'm rooting for Tua to get hurt. I just want the Jets to be there. But Miami really impressed me last year. So I'll have them 2 and the Jets 3 for now.
All right. Well, next up is the newly retired Tom Brady.
Yeah, again, like you said, the hits keep coming with this pack.
I would prefer Tom Brady to be in a Patriots jersey, even though he did win a championship in Tampa. But I mean, obviously, I will always look at Tom Brady as a Patriot first and foremost, and obviously a Buck second. But yeah, it's a pretty good pull here. There's a lot of all pros in this pack. Like I'm looking at the next 2 cards. We got Trent Williams from the San Francisco 49ers.
Future Hall of Fame offensive lineman.
And the very next card is Super Bowl MVP Cooper Kupp.
I mean, this is probably the best pack we've ever opened here on Rip N Riff in its short history.
Yeah, just in terms of just sheer star power, which means it's because this is the best one. That means it's just all downhill from here. So, Matt, if you want to go ahead and cancel the show, I would totally understand. Next up is DeForest Buckner from the Indianapolis Colts.
He's a guy that I've been a cornerstone IDP guy for me, and he produces as his D tackle. I just need to know at some point I'm going to have to trade him before his value goes down, because I mean he's been a high value player at that position for a while. So at some point he's going to decline. I got to sell on him before he goes too far south.
Yep, 100%. All right, we got our first rookie cards here.
All right,
from the San Francisco 49ers, Tyrion Davis-Price.
All right, we'll see what TDP can bring this year.
And from your Kansas City Chiefs, Brian Cook,
who I have as a guy in an IDP league as a bottom, probably like a 3rd or 4th safety that I'm hoping can I can put him on my taxi squad and let him simmer there and see how he develops.
Keontae Ingram from your Arizona Cardinals.
And with the way James Conner gets hurt, certainly not a bad guy to if you got the roster space, a bench spot for him in a deep league, go for it.
All right, and now here we go. Here's a spicy rookie card, Chris Olave from the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, now we're talking.
Now we're cooking with gas, buddy.
Yeah, that's a sharp looking card. I mean, now he's got Derek Carr throwing on the ball, so we'll see how that relationship develops if he becomes his new Devontae Adams. But we'll see.
All right, we have another rookie card here from the New Orleans Saints. Alontae Taylor.
All right. Okay. Still a rookie. You never know. It's a good looking card.
Yep. Now we're getting into the these orange refractors that the pack said. The Mosaic Reactive Orange Parallels.
Here we go.
Gabe Davis from your Buffalo Bills.
I'm not big on Gabe Davis. Even before last year, I was not big on him. But I mean, listen, if Buffalo wants to go all the way, they could certainly use a guy like him taking it to the next level.
I do like Gabe Davis. I mean, he is the number 2 wide receiver in an explosive offense. I do worry a little bit that they might diminish his role because he's coming off a bit of a down year last year, and because they drafted the tight end
Dalton Kincaid.
But hopefully he'll have another big year
there too. He's lurking. He might steal a few targets too.
We got Shaq Barrett from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who probably was the MVP of that Super Bowl, even though I don't think he actually won the MVP of that Super Bowl. He was just sensational in that playoff run.
Strong defensive player there.
Here's a player who's holding out of training camp right now. Do you want to take a guess?
Josh Jacobs?
It would not be Josh Jacobs. It would be future Hall of Famer Zach Martin from the Dallas Cowboys.
Ah, okay. That's a good looking card there too.
Yeah, we'll take a picture of this one, send it to our friend Corey Parson, the fantasy executive.
I wonder who's going to be his new Kellen Moore, like the number 1 target of his aggression with the Cowboys, who that's going to be this year.
It's going to be Dak Prescott, because he's not a Dak Prescott guy, and he thinks he stinks, and he thinks he throws too many interceptions, and he's not wrong.
Correct. I would not disagree with that.
All right, we got a few more cards here, 4 more to go. Another rookie card with our orange parallel from your Houston Texans, Derek Stingley Jr.
He's, everybody talked about Sauce Gardner, rightfully so, last year. But I mean, if Sauce Gardner doesn't exist, he's the top corner in that class. No doubt about it.
Yep. I mean, I'd personally rather have a Sauce Gardner card, but it is what it is. Let's see. A Thunder Lane Patrick Mahomes card.
That's a nice one. That little like lightning bolt, like kind of like silhouette. That's sharp.
Yeah, I like that. These are really nice cards. We got a touchdown masters with a big head for some reason, Joe Burrow.
Yeah, that's a little strange.
Yeah, it's just like you remember video games in, like the late '90s, like Mortal Kombat. You put like a code in or whatever, and the character would have a huge head. That's kind of what this reminds me of.
That is that's it's a little weird. Yeah,
And last but not least, the Kid Reporter promotional code card. That is not really an actual card.
gotta have one of those in there. Always got to throw because why give you another card? Got to throw that in there instead.
You got to throw it in there, and I'm sure it's expired because why wouldn't it be expired? But I could always scan the QR code while you go to open your pack. But yeah, overall, a very strong pack there by the Panini Mosaic cards. Definitely worth the $30 I spent on that box or whatever it was.
I'm kind of, now I'm kind of like that band that, it's like, damn, we got to go on after them. Like, I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully we get some good ones. I got a total of 17 cards here to try and make a nice finish there. We're going to start with the 2001 Major League Baseball Series 1 Topps. 50 years of baseball cards for them. So got 10 cards to go in the pack.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to scan that QR code while you're opening it up. We got to get that nice little rip sound.
Yeah, I like the wax better than the like cellophane. Like I like. There we go. I don't like to rip it, but for the sake of the show, just rip it. All right. Oh, these are good looking cards, especially for the times. So we are gonna open up out of the game. A little sticky stuff going on there. We're not properly stored by the person I bought them from off eBay.
Easy there, buddy. Easy there, buddy.
What?
A little sticky stuff. Easy there. It's a family show.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. All right. So let's go. Let's start with a manager, Jerry Manuel, former White Sox manager. Now, if you more about the card, look at the Topps 50th anniversary in the corner there, that little gold inlay. Down there, it's gold for the name. You got the team over there, so it's a good looking card nonetheless.
I don't remember him wearing glasses though.
I mean, maybe he got the LASIK surgery. All right,
good for him.
Good for him. I mean, he was ahead of the game. I mean, these are 2001 cards, so he was getting it back, or just when it was becoming fashionable. Now we're gonna go right.
I have some bad news, my friend.
What's that?
This was not a valid access code for the Super Bowl Kid Reporter, so you will not see me on the sidelines of Super Bowl whatever it is, 58. I can't read your Roman numerals. I should go see more Rocky movies. You may continue.
We'll go to another White Sox here, Bobby Howry. So 2 White Sox in a row. He was a pitcher for them. Bill Zimmerman, currently very happy right now. He's getting his fix of the White Sox. Certainly not getting his fix of them on the field, that's for sure. Another disappointing year for them. We'll stay.
They took 2 out of 3 from the Yankees. So I mean, who's the sucker now?
Does that really mean anything nowadays?
No, not at all.
All right, I didn't think so. So we'll stay in the AL Central here. We got Brad Radke, who was a good starter in his own right during the time, back in that era. He was like a number 2, number 3 guy, but he was strong for the Twins.
Good pitcher for a lot of years, and he's a guy. He retired at a young age. I feel like he hung it up when it was like 34 or whatever. I think he came off a pretty decent year as well when he decided to retire, and it was a little surprising at the time. I mean, I'm sure these athletes know their bodies better than anyone. I'm sure he knew the right time to get out, but yeah, his last season in the big leagues, all right, his ERA is a little high. It was 4.32, but it was 12-9 in his age 33 season. The whip's a little high, so I guess he knew when it was a good time to get out. So good for him.
Good for Brad. Good for Brad. Now we got the checklist card here. Which, this is when the checklist card, like, it used to be like they would give you like the picture and then the checklist on the back, and that, like, yeah, they're essential to the set, but these are worthless to me. Just checklist cards. We got a nice one here. This is a good looking card. This is a Gold Nugget Series, Golden Anniversary. Roger Clemens. Good looking card.
That is a Gold Nuggets, not to be confused with Golden Nugget, the casino. We don't want to get sued here. But yeah. Very nice card there, Roger Clemens, and that was 2001. That was the year he won the Cy Young on the Yankees.
So that one's going to have to go in a penny sleeve at least for sure. Let's see here. We'll have another pitcher. We go to Steve Traxel back when he was on the Blue Jays.
The human rain delay.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see how Steve Traxel would react to the pitch clock rules today. I wonder if anyone's actually tracked him down to ask about any of that, because obviously, for those who are uninformed, Steve Traxel was notorious for taking forever between pitches.
Now we're going to stay in Toronto, and we're going to go to Jose Cruz Jr., who was a good outfielder for quite some time.
Yeah,
Hit
good
the
player.
ball, good defensive guy. You know, did bounced around a little bit. I mean, he was with Toronto. He played with the Mariners. Good player there. We got a few, we'll call dud cards. We got a Manny from Boston, but it's not Ramirez. It's Manny Alexander. So not the Manny we're looking for in a Red Sox uniform. We got a Dodger, Dave Hansen here. Not much going on there. With the Phillies, Rob Ducey. Maybe Dan Servadidio can tell us something about him, the Phillies fan over on Better Sports Betting. And then we're going to close out this first pack here with another good card. This is a League Leaders sub-series, and it's a double-sided card, which is kind of cool. On one side, you got Randy Johnson, 342 strikeouts. So he led the NL that year. And then when you flip to the other side, you got Pedro Martinez, who led the AL with 284 strikeouts that year. So that's a cool little subset card.
That's cute. That is a very nice card. I like that.
All right. So
it's a little bonus card, 2 for the price of 1. I like that.
That's when you got to make sure the display you're holding it in is clear on both sides and nice, so you can look at both. Now, it wasn't as good as the Prism pack, but I think for a 2001 baseball pack, that delivered pretty well.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, if I could nitpick a little bit, I would like a little Barry Bonds representation in 2001, but obviously we got a little Yankee representation with Mr. Roger Clemens. The Diamondbacks won the World Series that year, so we got the Diamondbacks as well with Randy Johnson. You know, Pedro was on top of his game. Steve Traxel was a good player. Jose Cruz Jr. I mean, that is a pretty solid pack overall.
Overall, there was like 4 commons in there. It's like, all right, you get 4 commons is not that big a deal. Now, we only got 7 in this one, so I'm hoping it's like 1, no name. But it says on the pack here, guaranteed Hall of Famer inside, every player an all-star. So it shouldn't be any misses here.
Famous last words.
Yeah.
The Hall of Famer will be someone from the 1940s we've never heard of.
Yeah, absolutely. But this one opened nice and easy compared to the other one. So that alone is a start. All right. A lot.
Why are you laughing so hard at Mel Ott? Is there like an inside joke here or something?
No, it's just you said like we know who he is. He's a Hall of Famer, but that was not like these are definitely some older guys here. I was expecting somebody a little more modern. Bob Feller, just this is the pack of cards you got to give Mad Dog to open on the show. He would have a field day with this pack. So
this would be his lead on Monday's show. Like he's like, listen, I know everybody wants to talk about the NFL preseason. I know everyone wants to talk about Phil Mickelson betting $1 billion. We got to talk about Bob Feller.
Eddie, get me a box of these cards. We're doing it every week. So there you go. It's a good looking card.
And you know what? With Dog, that would probably be the most compelling radio that you could imagine. So
I would absolutely listen to that for sure.
I will. After the show, send me the link of where you got this pack from. I'll order one. I'll mail it to his producer, and I'll be like, you got to get Dog to open one of these packs on the show.
Absolutely. I will find where I got it for sure, and I'll send you the link. But nonetheless, it's a good-looking card with the good gold borders, and the name is kind of inlaid into the gold. And then when you look at the back, it's got a little gold there, too, on the top, name and the gold bar across. So we're still with the older guys here, the Hall of Fame. We got Dick Allen from the old White Sox, apparently. Back when they wore red.
You can't have a pack without Dick Allen.
No, of course not. We've got, let's see here, Joe Medwick, which I think is probably going to fit the bill for the guy you said the pack will include earlier. Won last National League Triple Crown in 1937 and won the MVP that year. So, hey, pre-World War II, Joe Medwick was a fantasy stud.
I think this was one. Is Joe Medwick one of the players that Mr. Burns tried to get on the Springfield Company softball team? Or was he too modern?
I think he was too modern. It was like Three Fingers Brown was one of them. I'm trying to think of the other ones. But all right, so we got 3 more.
I'll look it up while you're doing that.
we got 3 cards to go in this pack. Another guy that Mad Dog would definitely have. Now, the other cool thing about these cards, and I don't know if you can really appreciate it on the camera, but this is actually like raised. Like there's texture here, so like the player actually comes up from the background. I don't know how it's tough to really show on a camera. But
yeah, it's tough to see on camera, but the card looks like it has a little thickness to it. Like you probably can't necessarily put it in a regular sleeve.
no, it's definitely got a little density to it. That's Bob Lemon, old Indians pitcher. 2 more cards to go here. We're going to finish strong on this pack for sure. We got Ron Say from the Dodgers. Career highlights. He was the 5th leading home run hitter among all-time Major League third basemen, 20-plus home runs in 10 seasons and 90-plus RBIs in 5 campaigns. So certainly a guy on the Fantasy Hot Corner Hall of Fame for sure. And we're going to finish with a guy whose existence was once debated back on Corey Nando and Friends when it existed. We've got Babe Ruth to close the pack. So can't hear you.
I was going to say, how about that? Sorry, I muted myself while I coughed. Yeah, I mean, we actually have photographic evidence. Now, Corey, being the skeptic he is, will just say, it's a nice little Photoshop, but it's, it's not real. Babe Ruth's not real. So he wants to actually see, like, you could show Corey the grainy footage. It's not going to be good enough for him.
Oh, I mean, you might be able to appreciate the, this being raised out from the background a little bit on this one, but it's not like a totally flat card. But that was a fun pack to open. I think.
By the way, Babe Ruth would also be too modern to play on Mr. Burns' company softball team.
Yes, it was quite the roster, and but poor Smithers had to break it to him that none of those guys were going to be able to make it on the team.
Now, can I a little trivia question here? You already named one with 3 Finger Brown. Can you name the other 2 players that he specifically named?
Honus Wagner.
That's one. There's one other.
Is it a guy that like I know the name, and when I hear it,
you would know the name if you were like a baseball historian. He last played in 1897.
Walter Johnson.
No, I mean it's a good guess, I suppose, but I was looking for Cap Anson.
Cap Anson. Okay, I don't know if I would have ever gotten there, but that's a good one. Hey, 2 for 3 is not bad. 3 fingers, Mordecai Brown.
Yeah, just hey, Meatloaf said it best. 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Gets me in the Hall of Fame. All right, so we've gone through some football cards. We've gone through some baseball cards. Now, usually starting lineup selection time, the box break, we get picked from one of the 4 major sports. But they did a series called Classic Doubles where you got 2 in the same box. I just figured out how to get all these that I have unboxed stored. I just went through and did it again, and these are a little bit bigger, so they're a little bit. They don't jive with my storage area and where I got them, so I got to open up one of them at least. I can't have 2 of them in there. It's going to mess up my flow. So, staying with the vibe of football and baseball, that's what we got today. Now, I know you're going to really like both of them because one of them is an iconic moment in the sport's history. Like, like always, like on promotional, like those little shorts going into games. Like, it's one of the highlights always shown. The other sport is a guy I know you're really going to like, and you're going to be, you would be happy with that one too. Now, what's cool about the Classic Double Series is like they either take like a guy's, if it's baseball, they'll take like his, make a minor league version of him with the pro version, or, if it's football or basketball, a college version with the pro version, or they take like 2 players that are connected by one play or that were on the same team during a strong period of time for that franchise. So you got football, you got baseball here. Do you want me to tell you which one is which based on my descriptions?
Yes.
So the iconic moment is football. The player you're going to like and you're going to appreciate for sure, it's like minus 850 if you get those odds right now, is baseball.
See, the baseball one is very tempting because the way you're setting that up, I'm going to assume it's someone on the New York Yankees or it's someone. Well, you gave me a thumbs up. I would have also accepted someone from who was the peak steroid era, like Barry Bonds, Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire, someone along those lines. So it's really tempting because I know what I have the boat in hand, but I could go with the mystery box. I don't know if I should go with the mystery box, but then again, the mystery box could be anything. It could even be a boat.
Exactly. You don't know until you open
it. So I think much like Peter Griffin, I'm going to go with the mystery box.
So you're going NFL.
I'm going to go NFL.
All right. So what you could have opened today, had selected baseball. So Derek Jeter's classic doubles there. He got his Columbus Clippers jersey and then him fielding the ball in his gray Yankee jersey. Look at that guy right there. That's a pretty sharp one, huh?
That's a pretty good one. I already kind of regret my decision, but I've made a lifetime of bad decisions, so I can't wait to see what the football one is that we're going to open here.
What's one more on a Saturday opening a starting lineup, right? Like who counts at this point? So the one we're going to open today, classic doubles. Joe Montana, Dwight Clark, the catch, classic doubles.
So I mean, in terms of iconic moments in NFL history, that's probably in the top 3.
I would agree.
Conservatively.
I mean, it's been like, like when they're like at the beginning of the games, like they'll have like, this is a presentation of the National Football. Like one of the go-to highlights is always
that's always the catch. Yeah.
Always the catch. It's from behind Dwight Clark. So you see him jumping across and you see the face of Montana throwing the football. That is replayed in my head. And I'm not even a Niner fan or a Cowboy fan. And it's just also
that's up there. That's up there with like the Immaculate Reception. Obviously, like those are probably the 2 biggest historical ones. Also, Joe Namath running off the field with like his finger up after winning the championship is up there. And then you have obviously your more modern moments. So I don't regret this decision. I mean, this is one of the all-time great moments in sports. I'm not a 49ers fan, but it's a huge moment, and now we get to commemorate that on your shelf forever until you move the figure somewhere else.
And hey, listen, I live right in the heart of 49er country. I'm in the North Bay, out here in California. So like, it's not. I mean, there's still a good, strong Raider contingent, but it's Niner country. But without further ado, let's get now. These are going to be a little bit. Let's open this guy right there. All right, let's get the cards out of there first. Here's Dwight Clark. Good looking card, the black and white of him making the catch. The classic doubles logo in the corner. And we have Joe Montana with arms in the air. Same exact pose as the starting lineup. So that's kind of cool. And the other thing, too, about that game is that pretty much birthed the 49er Cowboy rivalry as we know. That was the moment. That's what planted the seed.
100%.
Right. You look.
Oh, your cat's interested.
Oh, he woke up. Yep. Yeah, I could see him in the background there. Just had to make sure I grabbed the helmets before they got on the floor and bounced around for that exact reason behind me, because he would have pounced on them. All right, let's take a look at these. Let's get this giant box out of the way. The box is huge. That's why I had to get one of those 2 open. So there's Montana. Let's give him his helmet. And it's got, the classic gold pants, the white stripes on the shoulder. It's just that classic dynastic 49ers look. Put the helmet on him there. And
classic look that'll never go out of style.
And the fact that they used, and I know they had like 5 or 6 different poses that they just basically spread out amongst the series for that year, but they used the perfect one for Dwight Clark there. It's pretty close to him making the catch. Like that's as close as you're going to get right there.
If you're going to make a Dwight Clark figure, it needs to be him reaching up to make the catch. So yeah, 100%.
So they will now go into the collection, and they will be a part of the starting lineup studio audience that's behind me, and a part of the show every week here on Rip N Riff. So when we got into the top row, I showed you the Dave Stewart that I had opened last week, the Oakland A's one that they did at Dave Stewart Day at the ballpark. We got Curtis Martin here from the New York Jets. We got Cortez Kennedy, who was the box break. He broke out of the box last week. Then from the 1996 Olympic Dream Team, Gary Payton. And then on the bottom row, we got Mark Messier, Keith Kachuk, and Sergei Fedorov. Let me get that bottle out of the way. There you go. And that's this week's starting lineup studio audience. So these guys are going to get to be there next week. So very exciting stuff.
And you got to put them at opposite ends as well. While they're facing each other, you actually have to try to simulate the best you can of Dwight Clark making the catch from Joe Montana. So Give you a little bit of homework.
Yeah, I'll make it work for sure. I will definitely try and set it up so I can have that. I mean, I have a Jerry Rice one too. Maybe we'll do like a whole 49er row next week or something like that.
Yeah,
We'll
Jerry
see.
Rice will be on the other end because Montana didn't throw it in there.
There you go. Perfect. So we'll have a little Niners on display in the studio audience next week here on Rip N Riff. But for another edition of Rip N Rip here on the Better Sports Network, it was fun. It's always fun, but today really was a top-notch one all around. Good packs of cards, good discussion. Yeah, great starting lineup opening too. So for Jared Moore, I'm Adam Bernard. We're going to be back with you next Saturday right here on the Better Sports Network on Rip N Riff.